this lesson is actually called bubble building. Who doesn't love bubbles? To get started, we are going to need some materials. So your materials are going to include a cup. You're going to want some dishwashing liquid, some sugar, a tablespoon, a pipette. Move this out of the way. If you don't have a pipette, then you can use a straw. When we work on lessons like this, we try to think about what students have at home, and then we're going to need water. So to create our bubble solution, now bubbles, everybody loves bubbles, and bubbles actually are bursting with science. And so we're going to talk about that as I create the bubble solution. So I'm going to start off with my cup, and I'm going to pour in water. Now water is made up of molecules that come together at the surface, and they form a wall or some type of film. That's called surface tension. So that's one of the important vocabulary words you're going to want to address is surface tension. Now to create our bubbles, we are going to want to break that surface tension with the surfactant. Surfactants break up surface tension to help us create a bubble solution. And that's where the dishwashing liquid comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the dishwashing liquid. And I think this is, well, I think any brand of dishwashing liquid should work just fine. So you're going to need 2 tablespoons of the liquid. Put that in. Go ahead and mix that up. Now we have this nice solution that is going to create bubbles. But as most of you may know, we want to build with bubbles. And in order to do that, we want to make sure that our bubbles are going to last. And so that is where our sugar comes from. The sugar helps our bubbles so that they don't evaporate. And that is another vocabulary word. Evaporation is the process of changing from a solution to a gas or a vapor. And we want to make sure that as we build today, and whenever I talk to students about building, I also mention that it's like engineering. So anytime we engineer with something, we want to make sure, especially with bubbles, we want to make sure our materials last. So to help us engineer with our bubbles today, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. So now we have this nice solution to create our bubbles. So we want to explore with science here. And I've mentioned how the bubble solution is made. And now we're going to take that and engineer with this or build with this. And so this is a great time to ask students, what can you create with this bubble solution? My goal is to create a bubble with bubbles inside. And so that's where the pipette comes in. So you want to take your pipette and you want to take some scissors and cut the top of the pipette off like so. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but if you don't have a pipette, a straw should work as well. So I'm going to try with the pipette and see if I'm successful. First, before I even do this, I almost forgot. You want to make sure you have a bubble solution on your surface. Then I'm going to dip the pipette in the solution. I was able to create a bubble and keep trying. So I have 1 bubble there, but I want to see if I can create bubbles within bubbles. I want to see how many I can create. So I'm going to go ahead and keep dipping the pipette within the solution. And it's okay if I pop the straw. I'm going to go ahead and give this a try with the straw and see if I have better luck with that. The straw seemed to work better. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you'll have materials and then you're going to want to play around and explore and find out what works for you. So this is my bubble building. And as you can see, it's not lasting very long, but that's what happens. The nice thing too with projects like this is, like for this bubble building, I've also provided a way to extend the lesson into design and technology. We're very fortunate here that we have access to 3D printers. So one of the ways students design is through Tinkercad. Tinkercad is a free website in which students can go in and they can create 3D models. So the bubble building that I just created, that structure of 3 bubbles, can be recreated online digitally, and students can do this before, and then if they want a 3D model before and then try to compare that with their actual creation, or they can recreate it after. And for us, we have the opportunity to print what students create, which adds in the art and the technology. And for funsies, you can also create bubble wands and 3D print those. So this is an actual bubble wand there. Have fun.